Got anything on you?
I'm at my house.
Okay, I don't know. I'm asking you. Gotta ask you. Who was in the car?
This is my car. She took my car.
Who's she to you?
We'll just be right here. My child mother.
Oh, okay. All right.
The victim reported sustaining minor injuries, including visible bruising to her left arm at the time the report was made, and she sought medical attention.
3 serious charges like that, I mean, felony charges, you're obviously potentially looking at prison time and years in prison. And this is something that Gervonta Davis is now going to have to deal with. As
reports claim Gervonta "Tank" Davis is under intense scrutiny after the FBI allegedly released body cam footage of his arrest, sparking widespread speculation online.
Where does she live? I don't know how exact address.
Recently, the police in Miami Gardens, Florida, have obtained a judge-signed arrest warrant for Davis in connection with an alleged domestic violence incident that took place in October 2025.
2025 at approximately 2:15 p.m., the victim entered the Miami Gardens Police Department accompanied by her attorney to report an incident that occurred on October 27, 2025. At the time of the incident, the victim was employed at a local gentleman's club located within the city of Miami Gardens. According to the victim's statement, at approximately 4:15 a.m. while working, she was approached by Mr. Davis. The victim was approached by Mr. Davis. The victim reported that Mr. Davis grabbed her by her back of her head, pulling her by her hair with one hand and by her throat with the other. He forcefully escorted her down a stairway and toward the parking garage while maintaining his grip on the back of her head. Upon reaching the parking garage, the victim reported that Mr. Davis released her, at which point she was able to run towards her co-workers for safety. The victim reported sustaining minor injuries, including visible bruising to her left arm at the time the report was made, and she sought medical attention.
The woman who reported the incident is identified in court filings as Davis's ex-girlfriend, Courtney Rossell. Police said she had been in a relationship with Davis previously and that the alleged incident occurred about 1 month after their split.
The victim further reported that she has known Mr. Davis since 2022, and they were previously involved in an intimate relationship for approximately 5 months, which ended about a month prior to the incident. She stated she had blocked all forms of communication with Mr. Davis after the relationship ended. During the course of the investigation, lead detective Gary Florencio obtained and reviewed video surveillance footage that corroborates key elements of the victim's statement. As a result of the diligent and hard work of our Special Victims Unit, an arrest warrant has been issued for Gervonta Bryant Davis on the following charges: battery, false imprisonment, and attempted kidnapping. The investigation determined that Mr. Davis used force to restrain and attempt to remove the victim from the location against her will. The victim was only able to escape when Mr. Davis released to retrieve his vehicle.
Apparently, Tank has not turned himself in yet, and Miami Gardens police are actively working to locate and arrest Davis.
Annalise Eric, the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force and Miami Gardens Police are currently searching for Gervonta "Tank" Davis, the professional boxer who has a history of domestic violence charges. In this latest case, he has not yet turned himself in to authorities. Now, at last update, Davis is still not in custody. Local 10 did reach out to attorneys representing Davis to find out if or when he plans to turn himself in. So far, we've not received a response.
This isn't the first time Davis has faced assault or domestic violence-related allegations during his career, and his offering legal troubles have steadily followed him for years.
most exciting and ferocious fighters in the world, bar none, just period, full stop. But there's always something like this that Gervonta is seemingly dealing with. I mean, he's 30-0-1. He had one draw against Lamont Roach. He's got 28 knockouts. I mean, he virtually knocks out, just spark out cold everyone he fights, but he's got these things that happen to him, and it's already cost him in a massive way financially. The Jake Paul Anthony Joshua fight was not ever supposed to happen. That was obviously, like Lucas said, supposed to be Tank. But Jake has to pull out because he gets accused of these really horrible things. And now it just got a whole lot more serious because, look, you could argue Gervonta can afford to lose the money. He's done tremendously well for himself. But when you're talking about 3 serious charges like that, I mean, felony charges, you're obviously potentially looking at prison time and years in prison. And this is something that Gervonta Davis is now going to have to deal with, as the U.S. Marshals, like Lucas also said, on his heels, trying to track him down, trying to throw those cuffs on him and bring him into custody.
Davis's legal history goes back nearly a decade. In 2017, he was charged with first-degree aggression after allegedly raising his hands on a friend. However, this is the same case that led to the cancellation of his scheduled fight with Jake Paul because the civil lawsuit and allegations surfaced before.
We've seen him in a domestic violence situation. He's been arrested multiple times in the past, and now he's got new problems because the 26-year-old has been hit with 14 criminal charges.
In an appearance on the Last Stand podcast with Brian Custer, Davis opened up about his emotions, giving fans a rare look at the man behind the fierce persona.
What do you wish that people knew about Gervonta "Tank" Davis that maybe they don't understand?
I'm funny. I'm fun to be around. I'm human. I'm not somebody that's feel as though that's like, when I say bougie or stuck up or anything like that. I feel as though a lot of people see that they go off my my boxing, how I am in a ring, and they use that as of
How they make judgment on you.
Yeah, how they make judgment on me. I feel as though that I'm much more of a person than just a boxer. You know what I mean? I feel as though I'm not somebody that's just mean or stuck up 24/7.
Yeah.
Like, that's just me in the ring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Has previously acknowledged his struggles with controlling his anger and has publicly apologized for past incidents. In interviews and statements following earlier legal troubles, he admitted that his actions were wrong and expressed regret for the harm caused to others. Davis emphasized that he is actively working on himself by attending anger management classes, aiming to better handle conflicts and emotions both inside and outside the ring. He has said that boxing has always been his outlet, but he recognizes the need for professional guidance to prevent personal issues from escalating into legal problems.
Passenger in his car get into a Camaro and flee from the crash scene, which is illegal. That's a hit and run. You're not allowed to do that. Meanwhile, the 4 people in the car that was hit in the accident, like I said, were all hospitalized for their injuries. So there was an investigation that's been going on because this incident went down in November 5th, just days after Gervonta's big knockout victory over Leo Santa Cruz, a sensational performance by Gervonta Davis. So officials have been investigating. They say they have video, they have witnesses, and they have hit him with 14 criminal charges, including hit and run, including driving on a suspended license, and several more. And if convicted on all counts, this is the important part, he could go to prison for more than 7 years. Gervonta Davis, 26 years old, in the prime of his career, could go to prison for 7 years for this. This is a big deal, guys.
Yeah, this is a big deal, and all I think about is the fact that he's constantly been getting in trouble, and so sometimes these things catch up with you. Fleeing a site, I mean, with your actual car there, I don't know how he thought he was going to get away with that because the car is still there, but just for people that are, when there's smoke, there's fire, and as you said, he's had so many different instances, so you kind of figured at a certain point things would catch up with him.
Yeah, look, these are very serious charges. I feel bad that the people got hurt. Ultimately, and this is just a prediction here, I think that Gervonta Davis, he just has so much money behind him and so much money he could possibly...
Miami Gardens police have confirmed that they are actively working with the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force to locate Davis following the issuance of an arrest warrant. The collaboration with federal authorities highlights the seriousness of the case and the urgency to apprehend Davis, who is considered a fugitive until he surrenders or is taken into custody. Police have stated that the warrant was obtained after reviewing surveillance footage, witness statements, and medical reports, which they say corroborate the alleged victim's account. The involvement of the U.S. Marshals allows law enforcement to extend their reach beyond local jurisdictions, using nationwide resources to track his whereabouts.
They are working now with the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force to locate and arrest Gervonta Davis. This doesn't just happen automatically. When someone has an active warrant and law enforcement believes they may be difficult to locate, avoiding contact, or capable of crossing jurisdictions, U.S. Marshals are often brought in. For you guys wondering, what exactly do the U.S. Marshals do? I got you. They are the oldest federal law enforcement agency in the country. operating under the Department of Justice, and they specialize in the following: tracking and arresting fugitives, assisting with high-profile warrants, running joint task forces with local police, protecting federal courts and judges. So when the marshals get involved, it's not like some small thing. It signals that authorities are treating the situation.
The most recent legal issue involving Tank actually resulted in his arrest prior to this latest warrant. Actor and martial artist Michael Jai White weighed in on Davis's previous arrest, which stemmed from an alleged altercation with his ex-girlfriend over personal issues, including reported tensions around their son's sexuality. White expressed surprise and disappointment that a professional fighter with so much discipline and training could be involved in such a serious incident, emphasizing that violence against women is never acceptable and that fame or athletic skill doesn't justify harmful behavior. He used the situation to highlight how actions off the field can damage a person's reputation and legacy, comparing it to other high-profile celebrity controversies. White stressed that athletes and public figures carry extra responsibility and that situations like this serve as a reminder that accountability matters, both legally and in the court of public opinion.
Violence?
Well,
that's some weird shit right there.
For, allegedly beating up the mother of 2 of his kids. So I guess this happened on Father's Day outside of her home. A verbal dispute happened. I guess what she said is that Gervonta was upset over personal matters and Gervonta having insecurities about the sexuality of their son. So I guess maybe their son might be gay or something of that sort. He showed up to pick up the kids. The argument escalated. And then after Gervonta put the kids in the car, she alleges that Gervonta punched her in the rear of her head with a closed fist and slapped her in the face. Also, they suggested there have been approximately 10 undocumented physical altercations between the 2 of them. He got arrested and he's out on $10,000.
Davis was released from custody after posting bond, reportedly set at $10,000. What drew extra attention at that time was the way he was escorted out of jail. Corrections officers walked with him as he bonded out, keeping reporters at a distance, which led some outlets to question whether he received unusual or preferential treatment compared with how other defendants are typically released. While authorities did not officially confirm special privileges, the scene sparked debate about how high-profile figures are handled by law enforcement during bond releases. Being out on bond allowed Tank to remain free pending legal proceedings, but it did not lessen the seriousness of the allegations or the ongoing legal scrutiny he faces.
Video shows Gervonta Davis getting a heavy escort before bonding out of jail. Now some are asking, was this special treatment? Local 10's Leanne Motorhong is outside the jail in West Miami-Dade with much more.
I've been at Local 10 for 15 years, and I don't remember another escort like this one, except for one. A bondsman I spoke to said this type of escort by corrections is not common. Boxer Gervonta Davis bonded out of jail on Friday, charged with misdemeanor domestic violence battery. He left through the normal inmate release door, but what was unusual were the 3 corrections officers escorting him, one of them guiding him by the arm as reporters were kept at bay. The scene raised questions about whether this was a form of preferential treatment.
Maybe if it's a high-profile client like an athlete or a politician, you might see that in certain circumstances to keep the crowd control down, but
the situation is different this time with more serious charges. If Davis is convicted on the charges stemming from the Miami Gardens incident, he could be facing serious jail time given the severity of the alleged offenses. The arrest warrant includes felony charges such as battery, false imprisonment, and attempted kidnapping, all of which carry significant penalties under Florida law. Convictions for these crimes can result in multiple years behind bars, potentially ranging from several years to over a decade, depending on the judge's sentencing and any prior criminal history. Beyond prison, a conviction could also lead to probation, mandatory counseling, and permanent criminal records, which would severely impact both his personal and professional life. For a professional athlete like Tank, this could mean loss of fighting licenses, canceled bouts, and damaged endorsements, effectively halting his boxing career.
Gervonta's next fights, his career going forward. Well, one, I think he has to focus on this case, right? You know, if he is convicted, it could lead to some jail time, and that's obviously going to postpone any plans he has for any fights in the future. You know, this incident made it so that Anthony Joshua went in and took his spot for the Jake Paul fight that happened a few weeks back last December at the Kaseya Center in Miami, Florida. I know if they do resolve this issue, they work something out, that the next couple of fights for Tank are going to be very much put under a microscope. He's going to have a lot of potentially negative attention, criticism from the public on those fights. I know there's lucrative rematches there for him with Lamont Roach, with Pitbull Cruz, amongst other fighters. The winner of potentially Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez would be a big fight for him as well. But you got to ask yourself too, how are the commissions going to react to this, and if they're going to give any issues to him in terms of licensing him for fights in their state. It's important to say this clearly. These are accusations at this point. He hasn't been convicted of anything.
Truly sad to see a champion like Tank Davis getting caught up in serious problems, seemingly because he cannot control his hands outside the ring. Tank is one of the most gifted boxers of his generation, someone who worked his way from nothing to the very top through discipline, sacrifice, and raw talent. Yet moments like this threaten to undo everything he has built. When an athlete reaches that level, they are not just fighting for themselves anymore. They represent fans, family, and a legacy that lasts far beyond championships. Even allegations alone can be damaging, costing him major opportunities, endorsements, and fights, as seen with the cancellation of the Jake Paul bout. It feels like he is throwing away years of hard work for actions that could have been avoided with better self-control and decision-making.
The problem with your hands, my nigga. You about to throw everything away because you got a problem with your hands. And I have to say allegedly, but at the same time, it's bad and it doesn't look good for you, Tank, because you got a habit where we actually see footage of you doing the same exact things when you grab that female and at that sports arena. You grab that female by the back of her neck and you dragged her out the same way this female was describing. And see, the sad part about it is, we can all tell that this is about to become a money grab, because if this is a situation that happened 3 months ago, why are you filing charges now? Because it's over with? The relationship is in the garbage? And whoever's advising him is telling him to let you go because everything is getting ready to go in the garbage? It frustrates me and it irritates me that every successful black man, especially the athletes, their downfall is a woman. Tank, you gotta do better. You the best of the best at your game. You're gonna throw everything away, you're gonna have these females sue you and take all your money through lawsuits and put you in jail? And put you in jail, my nigga? Come on, Tank. You got to do better. Hassan Campbell is a Tank Davis fan. I love it.
The recent arrest warrant for Gervonta Davis marks a major low point in the career of one of boxing's biggest names. Miami Gardens police have issued the warrant on charges of battery, false imprisonment, and attempted kidnapping tied to an alleged aggression incident, and officers are working with the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force to locate him. This legal trouble already led to the cancellation of his high-profile fight, derailing a major opportunity and sparking intense debate among fans. While Davis has enjoyed an impressive undefeated run in the ring, repeated allegations and escalating charges threaten to overshadow his achievements and could have serious consequences for his reputation and future in boxing.
I've heard you say that you don't like to bring your family to fights that you feel like are going to be a war. Do you feel like this is a fight that you'll bring your family to?
Nah, I don't think so. Nah, I won't bring them there.
Why? Do you feel like it's gonna be a war?
I think it's more so lead the kids and the woman home.
Yeah,
for sure.
And let the men handle business?
Yeah, even my mom's, you gotta stay home.
Really?
But my mom is she's tough, but nah.
See, mom's being at the fight is a mainstay, you know what I mean? Like, we've seen her at the fights, we've seen her talking to you, and you're like, Mom, what's up? You know, and then get back. But even this one,
nah.
No mom dukes.
Nah, it can get ugly.
This is strictly business.
On both sides. This is a 50-50 fight.
What do you think about this situation and its impact on Tank's legacy? Leave your thoughts in the comments.